Tonight, the WSYX investigators are asking a question of Columbus police. After so many shootings in the city, where are they getting the guns?
We found that police are busy trying to trace weapons and the criminals who use them. Very busy.
It's not a question of if they're going to be used to commit violence. They are being used all over the state of Ohio and the country.
Columbus Police and BATF are working together to find new information about gun violence.
They're pulling back the curtain for our Haley Nelson, including new trends they're seeing in communities right now.
It's a small piece of often metal.
In criminal elements, it's kind of a prize to have one.
Maybe an inch wide, something you may not even notice.
This is illegal, and it's professionally manufactured, but most likely came from China.
But the effects of a Glock switch like this can come quickly and be devastating.
A switch on the back to switch it from semi-auto to full auto. And if it's switched on full auto, this will expend 30 bullets in about 2.1 seconds.
That's an ATF agent demonstrating just that. And this is what a Glock switch being used in the community looks like. Columbus police say one of the switches was used in a shooting in the Hilltop along Sullivan earlier this year. 3 people were hit. As we continue our series looking into the impact gun violence is having in Columbus, law enforcers are revealing the trends they're seeing right now.
Number one is youth violence. A lot of youth being involved in gun violence at a rate that's disturbing. In our area, we're seeing the machine gun conversion devices, the Glock switches. We're seeing those used mainly tied to the narcotics trade. Special
agent in charge of the Columbus Field Division for the ATF, Daryl McCormick, says another concern is straw purchasing.
We have about 10% of all the firearms recovered and traced by law enforcement in the Columbus area had a time to crime of 90 days or less. That means they were purchased from a licensed dealer to someone who could legally purchase it and then transferred to a criminal and recovered by police within 90 days.
While Glock switches may be coming from far away in some cases, he says guns used in crimes are not.
Well over 50% of the firearms recovered come within 25 miles of Columbus.
They're also uncovering links between shootings.
The National Ballistic Information Network, NIBIN, we're using that to connect one shooting to the other. And I can tell you that here in Columbus, about 50% of the shootings end up connecting to another shooting.
Columbus police are also tracking a series of trends when it comes to gun violence as well. That includes the use of Glock switches and young people involved in crimes.
And just the overall prevalence of guns. I think, year to date, we've seized 1,366 guns, which it's not a significant percentage over last year, but it is over last year.
Deputy Chief Smith Weir tells me the top way Columbus police seize guns is through traffic stops, search warrants, and responding to incidents. They've also seized at least 33 Glock switches, surpassing last year.
I think it's a huge concern because it's something that, might have started on the underground market a little bit, but I think our information shows that they are being produced now through like 3D printers and everything like that.
We've been tracking concerns over teens involved in crime for months now. I asked him how minors are getting their hands on firearms.
Lack of responsible ownership. And the second way that we're seeing a lot of is theft of, from motor vehicles. And then the last way would be just the underground, market where, firearms are being bought and sold. Sometimes that's through social media on their own Instagram page, on their own Snapchat page.
As these teams continue to track guns used in crimes, he shared a sad reality with us.
The issues that we're seeing that, result in shootings are not that serious. And, if we could just get people to take a step back and not pull their gun, that would be the biggest thing, is not everything needs to be a shooting.
As for stopping the flow of these illegal Glock switches, the ATF tells me they're working sometimes with Customs and Border Protection as they sometimes intercept these packages at ports. They also try to investigate and crack down on so-called nefarious websites. On abc6onyourside.com, you can see more data and insights shared with me and Bob Stacia. Of course, those Glock switches, they are illegal federally, so that is illegal on a federal level.
So, Haley, I know you're working more within this series and this topic. What comes next? next?
Sure. So, Bomb Station, we did sit down with the juvenile judges here in Franklin County, learning more about that program. Of course, a lot of people talking about teen crime, so we take questions to them, a wide-ranging conversation, and you can see that story soon right here.
As you say, pulling back the curtain, it's very, very interesting. All right, thanks, Haley. Appreciate that. Haley Nelson on your side.